In a BlueJ, the first program today, what we are going to learn, that is program to add two numbers. We will be considering first number as A, second number as B, and the result, that is addition part, A plus B, will be stored in third variable, that is C. So this is the program which I'll be showing you today, how to write, how to compile, and how to display the output. Okay children, so see and listen properly. Good morning everyone. So today we'll be continuing the previous chapter, that is chapter number 2 only, Introduction to Java. In the previous class I had explained you what is Java, what are the features of Java, and what are the purposes for what we need to learn the Java. That means what kind of program we can create from Java. Okay, so children, today I'll be showing you practically that way to write the Java program and how to write the Java programs. In class 8 also we had few introductions. There this steps was already shown, but still once again I am showing you as this is in our chapter. So children, first of all you need to install BlueJ and JDK in your computer. So BlueJ and JDK can be easily downloaded from internets. Okay, once you install it, you will get the icons like this. A bird is there, okay, with name BlueJ. I have already installed this one. You will get from internet. You can write in Google BlueJ free downloads. Okay, and you will get the link basically from oracle.com. You can download from there. But remember one thing. It depends on your computer or laptop operating system bits, okay, number of bits. There is two type of bits, 64 bit and 32 bits. You need to check that properly, that whether your computer belongs to 32 or 64 bits. Based on that you can download. How you will check the bits is simply right click on this computer icon, okay, right click it, you will get the properties part. You can click on the properties, okay. So when you click on the properties, you get the windows like this. There you can easily check, see system type is 32 bits operating systems. Maybe you're at 64 bits. So based on that, okay, while downloading you have to remember these things. Okay, anyway children, I've already installed the BlueJ. So after installations of BlueJ, you have to install JDK also, as JDK is Java Development Kit, which contain all the tools which are required to compile and interpret. Okay, so without JDK, BlueJ simply will not work. So first of all install BlueJ, then install JDK. You'll find the icon appears on the desktop. Simply you need to double click that. Okay children, so once you double click and you'll open the first of all, like it's already created project is there, but when you do this one, when you install this one, first of all initially, okay, you have to click on the project part, then click on the new project, and you can type the new project name. Say I'm writing here class say 9, okay, then click on the OK button. You'll find the new project window will appears with totally blank, see like this. So this is our screen, okay, first screen which appears like when we open the BlueJ. Now this is also known as interface. Okay, this interface allow us to write the programs. We can write two different type of programs. One is internet applets, another is standalone applications. So children, this BlueJ is a very user friendly environment. It is basically used for education purpose. Okay, so first of all after installation, new projects, this project, then new project, type the names, you will get the blank window. Now in this blank window you have to click on the new class. So class is simply a virtual name. Our Java, it follow the paradigm, that is object oriented programming. So wherever object oriented programming is there, that means there is a concept of class and object. So first of all you need to click on new class. So once you click on the new class, you get a small windows where you see so many class types are there: class, abstract class, interface, unit type, enum, JavaFX. Okay, but we'll be using the default one, that is class. and the class name is a user defined name. Okay, so we have to give the name for class. So let us give our basic names, say P1. Okay, or else any you can give. Okay, this is just a user defined word. You can even write your name also. Okay, but I suggest to give P1, P2, P3 so that it is easy to remember. P1 means program 1, P2 program 2. So gradually when we increase our programs, we'll increase the number also. Okay, but it cannot start with 1p or p space 1, like that you cannot give. You cannot give a space between two letters, or you cannot start with numbers or symbols. You have to write the letter only, alphabets only. You can write in capital or small, doesn't matter, because this is user defined name. So when you write the class name, you need to click on the OK button. So when you click on the OK button, a small icon you can see appears on the interface. This icon name is what now? P1. P1 means the class name which we have created. So once we have created, that means now this icon is the interface which provide you to write the piece of code, compile and execute. Okay children, so when I double click here, you have to double click. Okay, that means 2 times the left mouse button you need to click. You will get again another interface with say some code are written. So this code you need to select and erase it. So you can use the left mouse button, press, and you can drag the mouse button like this. Okay, for selections you have to select all. Or else another method is also there. We can use a shortcut key CTRL plus A. See, full selections. Now you might be wondering what is CTRL, what is A. So let me show you in the keyboard. Say OSK on screen keyboard. So it's not displaying, so let it be. Let us select it by CTRL and A. CTRL key you will get in the keyboard. Okay, CTRL, that is control key, and at the same time means together both the key you have to press CTRL as well as A. Okay, so this means select all. It will select the entire piece of code together. Or else you can use mouse button also. Left mouse button, click and drag the mouse. Choice is yours. So after the full selection you can use delete key. Delete key is again available in the keyboard. In some keyboard it is DEL, some delete. Press it, you'll get the blank interface. So now this is actual place where you need to write the source code. You can see here it's written also, see source code. So first of all we have to write the source code. Source code is compiled. Okay, then after compilation that source code is converted to bytecode. Then bytecode is interpreted by this JVM and we get object code. That is the sequence how the program follows. So children, today we'll be doing one program. So the program, let us do the first program, and our program name will give as say simply addition of two numbers. Okay, so your first question 1 is program to add two numbers. Okay, so let us take this is our first question. Let me make it zoom it. Okay, so our first question is what? Program to add two numbers. That means we need to take two numbers, we need to add it. Okay, say for example, say our first, just an example. Okay, first number, say it's A, we don't know what is that. Then we have a second number, say second number as I'll be considering as B, Okay, so now this a and b you need to ask from the user, they are variables. So in this question what we understood is your input is two numbers. Okay, so two numbers you need to ask from the user. Say first number will considered as a and second number will considered as b. So once you get two numbers, what is your task? You need to add that, because as per as quotient we have to go. Quotient is what? Program to add two numbers. So when you add, say a plus b, a plus, let's take in small letter, a plus b. So you have added. Now after addition you get another numbers, isn't it? Like suppose a number is 10 and b number is 20. Okay, suppose a number is 10 and b number is 20. Then what is the final result? 10 plus 20, that becomes 30. Now to store a 30 we need one variable, isn't it? So we have to assign another variable, that is, let us take as c. Okay, let it be in a small letter only or capital, doesn't matter, these are variables. So these are the variables we need, isn't it? And we understood that our input is a and b, and what we have to do, that is process, is we have to add plus sign we have to use, and we have to store in one variable, that is our process. And finally the output is what? Output is like c, the final result. Okay, that's added value stored in variable, that variable we need to display. So that is the concept. Means in any program you need to understand what is input, what is process, and what is output. That is IPO. Okay, so that is the basic fundamental part of the programming, IPO, input, process, output. So children, up to this much is clear. Now the second question arises. We have taken the variable a, b, c. Okay, like in maths also we write, now let the number be x, let the number be y, then we calculate, and finally we get the answer. Okay, but in mathematics what happened? The variable can store any sort of numbers, but computer, they are specific. Okay, like when you are assigning a value to a variable, we have to like define also that what kind of value a variable will store. That is known as data type. Okay, so data type means, like suppose we need to consider that our a is 10 and b is 20. That means 10 and 20 both are integers. So when two integers are added, the final result is also integer. So c will be integers. Now there may be question that what about if a value is 10.5 or b value is say 20.6, then our answer is also coming in point. So in that case you need to take float. Okay, but remember one thing, when you write the programs, okay, if the example is given and the value they are considering is float, then we can use float. Okay, or else we'll use the default data type, that is integer. Default data type is integer. We know if float is required, means decimal values are required, we can replace the int with float. And if again you might be like you want to create a program which will add both integer also, float also, you can use double data types. Okay, the choice is yours, but we'll consider the default one only, as in the question nothing detail is given, so we'll consider the default data type, that is int, int. Okay, that's integers. Integer can hold positive value as well as negative, but without decimal. Clear children? Understood the questions? So now let us write the program on this. Okay, so again we'll come back to our BlueJ part. So now children, we have seen that our question is programmed to add two numbers. So when we add two numbers, like we need to use multiple keywords, like just now one I have explained is int for integers. Now how the compiler will come to know that this int means integers? Okay, int means integer, how the compiler will come to know? So for that we have a package in Java. So package is what? Collection of library functions. That means all the keywords whatever we use in Java programming while writing the piece of code, that all the keywords meanings are stored in that package. And that package work is what? It provide information to compiler that this keyword function is this particular things. Okay, so before writing the program, first of all you need to write the package of Java programs, and the main important package of Java program is IO, that is input output. Okay, so let us write that. Import, it's a keyword. Okay, import is a keyword. Java dot io means input output dot asterisk. Asterisk means wildcard, actually means everything, every keyword or maybe variable, constant, expressions, statement, whatever required for input output, everything are considered in this, and we have to terminate this by using semicolon. Another one more package is there, that is known as default package by default. Okay, and that lang is basically used for some wrapper class and all. Okay, so wrapper class means providing the meaning to the data types, like int means integer, float means floating point. Okay, that part. So we'll write here import java dot lang. Lang is language. Okay, basically for data type it is used. So after writing the package, that means our work is over. Now whatever keyword we'll be using, that will be known by the compiler. Okay, so first of all we have to begin with the class part. Class name we have given, as you have seen also, that we have written p1, as well as you can see at the top here p1 class name. You can change also, doesn't matter. So class object oriented programming, one feature was there, encapsulation. That means whenever you write class, you need to encapsulate. For encapsulation you have to use curly bracket. Now we have to mention public static void main. Now see, what is public? Public is actually an access specifier or even modifier, we can say. So this means what? The piece of code what we'll be writing inside this can be accessible by any part of the programs, but within the same package. Because when we create the software, we need to use multiple classes. Okay, so sometime it happens that from one class you need to acquire some features you have to use in other class. Okay, so if you want use public, then if you write private, then what happens? That is limited to particular block, particular curly bracket. You cannot access to other class. For accessing, we are just mentioning that what is the security purpose, like public means accessible by anywhere. So after that I have written static. So static means what? Static means like it skips the object or instance creation, as every class has an object. So if we are not declaring the object by ourselves, then computer or compiler create the instance, means create the object automatically, and it takes some time. So when we write the static, that means we are just mentioning that object is not required, directly you compile it. Okay, and void means a return type. It's a very simple example. Usually in maths you know that 2 plus 2 is 4, but do you think that 2 plus 2 4 is correct answer? From where it came, who has invented? Okay, so if you go to the root, now you'll find that some person, some mathematician had said that 2 plus 2 is 4, and we have just mucked up. But when we do the actual calculation, you'll find that 2 plus 2 is not 4, it's 3.88888, something like that. So to remember such like big calculations, you know, just I gave example of 2 plus 2. It can be 2 plus 3, 2 plus 4, 1 plus 2, so many additions. So what we have did, what mathematician has did, they have written a default value and we have just mugging up that and we are following that. So when we write the programs, so program that means we have to provide the information that you also take the default value, and that information is given by void. That means there is no return type. So whatever we'll be writing, that is the correct, you just take that. Okay, if you don't write void, then what happens? It will ask the return value, means there is some value which is returning in every calculations. Okay, that's why we'll write void. That means there is no return type. So everything is correct, you just compile with the default value, providing information to compiler. And main is the default function. That means inside the class we can have multiple functions, like one fruit can have multiple object like apple, mango, orange, in the same way. So main is the default function, is provide information again to compiler, that after this whatever we are going to write, that is the main part of the program. Okay, so up to main is a by default you need to write, that's compulsory steps. Now we'll move to the question again. So question was what? program to add two numbers, first number, second number, then addition is there. That means two numbers we need to ask from the user, and just now I told you informations are incomplete, so we'll take int as default data type. So that asking part, means input part, we can write in this parameter, that is bracket. That's why main is not a keyword, it's a function. So I'll write here int a comma then int b, two numbers from user I'll be asking. This is known as input, okay, parameterized part. Now see, function also we need to encapsulate, so curly bracket again. We have already asked the value from the user, that means input part is over. Now the process part we need to perform, so we need to add and store the variable value in one variable, that is also integer type. So int c is equal to a plus b. Clear children up to this much? So here what I wrote, a b, this is the input and this part is process. Now we'll come to the output part, means we need to display. So for display we have the keyword system, but S should be capital, system, okay, S should be capital, system.out.print without space, semicolon. Or here we'll give some definition inside double inverted comma, that is addition is equal to the result will be displayed in the variable that is c. Okay, so you can see here this addition equal to, this is a text message which will be appeared in the screen, output screen. That's why inside double inverted comma and plus c I have mentioned, because c is the variable which holds the value. Okay, so this is the way how output are written in Java programs. Now our work is complete. We need to close the encapsulation part. Same will close the class encapsulation and function encapsulations. So after this we need to compile, because our source code is over. So as per as the rule, after source code you need to compile for bytecode. So let us compile. See, when bytecode is generated, that means you will get the message here, class compiled, no syntax error. That means your program is correct, bytecode has been generated. If suppose if I'm missing something and if I'm compiling, see, errors found in class, okay, that means bytecode is not generated. So let me correct it again. Compile, class compiled, no syntax error. This message is compulsory, class compiled, no syntax error. Okay, this means your source code has been converted to bytecode. So up to this much is clear, children. Now let us close this one. Okay, so once you, when you close, that means your bytecode has been converted, machine code is generated. Now JVM work is to interpret the program and display the object code. So right click here, void main. Now this is the interpreter part. Two values you need to give. Let us give for the value 10 and 20. Now do OK button. See, you get the final result. This is the object code. Okay, that's why you can see the options is given here. Okay, addition is equal to 30, the result, final result. So this is the way how we write the programs. Now we can click on the option and we can clear it, save to a file, okay, copy, print. These options are available. Let us clear it and close this one. Okay, so in this way we have closed BlueJ. Okay, and we have learned how to write the programs, and they are saved automatically. Once you compile, the program is saved automatically. So children understood how to write, how to compile, and how to display the output. So today we'll do this much.